Hello, Aries. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Aries. So we begin this reading with that swift, electric energy. We have the Eight of Wands, and as you can see, the lines here, they're kind of jagged, right? And so it really does bring forth this feeling of just electricity going in all directions, right? Like almost like the refraction of light and all of the rainbow, right? And so I love this card. I love it so much. Not because 8 is my lucky number, but it really does. It's like it's a moment when something clicks. It's a moment when there is a revelation. There's a moment when, oh my gosh, this person just showed me who they really are. And there's no question about what you're going to do, right? I don't feel like there's any kind of hanging out, considering, overanalyzing, ruminating on the thing. No, this is like deal breaker. Okay, now it doesn't have to be like a romantic thing. It doesn't even have to be with a person. This might be a job, right? This might be a living situation. This might be, a friendship. Whatever it is, there's a sense of all of a sudden there's information right there. Okay, it doesn't mean that you'll end the thing. But whatever it is, positive, negative, somewhere in between, the vast ocean in between, you have your answer already. Like as soon as it happens, you will know what to do. Okay, so we're going to begin with that energy. Welcome. Come on in. So I want to thank you so much for being here with me. It's always such a pleasure for me. You'll have to really excuse my voice and just generally all over the place, which is normal for me. But we are definitely sick over here right now in our household. And if you know my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot, his name is Paul, you might have some idea that dude works a lot, right? Day and night. He is a beast for working. Thankfully, we get to work at home, and we work in the same business together, which, is awesome. We get a lot of time together. But, yeah, he's so sick that he had to take off yesterday and today, which is, I can't remember the last time he had to take off a day. So prayers for Paul, if you would be so inclined. He is obviously such a lovely person, and I'm biased, of course, but, I just want him to feel better. I've been trying to doctor him up and get him to, I just made him some egg drop soup, and also, the thing I always have to say, if you want to subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I do want to hear from you. I love reading the comments. The last few days have been great because I have not felt good, and I love reading the comments. So thank you. And let's get started. So the first thing that popped out to me is there is the word, and I can't spell it. I can't say it, but I will do part of it. F, if you know what that letter is, C, and this one would be a K, okay? Right across the middle. I'm right here with ya. It really does just feel like you could go outside and just scream it to the sky, right? Just a feeling of pent-up frustration, chaos, maybe fear, I think that's kind of the umbrella a lot of these are under, this fear that is rising. People's behavior, the things that they're saying, the things that they're doing, and, being kind of reckless with one another. And I would say this is happening for a lot of us. People are upset. The world is, at least if you look at the collective, the media, certain parts of the internet, I think we can all agree things are pretty wild out there right now. Now, in your personal life, it might not be the same. In your community, it might not be the same. If you went out into the area that I live in, it's very rural. Now, we do talk about, the stuff going on, but, for the most part, it's just work, work, work. I live among a lot of blue-collar people, right? There's not a lot of time to stop and worry, too deeply about some of this stuff, because life is marching forward, but I do feel the pressure, and I know that a lot of us do, and I feel like in this particular moment, I feel that you have definitely been feeling the weight of it. There has been, the disharmony, the fear, the, starting to think like, what am I going to do next? Things have not started to get better, right? Like, I feel like a lot of us, especially if you're older, you've been through some big world events, right? You've been through some really unstable times. I mean, market crashes, wars, endless wars, all kinds of stuff, right? And you get through it and things right themselves, and, it starts to get back to business as usual and so on. And for some reason, we all we know and we see what's going on, but it hasn't been going back to normal. It hasn't been going back to business as usual. Things are shifting. They are shifting quickly. They are shifting very apparently. Okay? And I'm not saying this to cause fear. No. I'm not saying this to cause fear. I am saying this because, I hear you. We're frustrated. It's scary, a few days ago. Now, in my defense, maybe I was getting a little sick, but I was crying through my readings, and I honestly felt and feel in the depths of my soul that something is changing, and we better start doing the work. Change it along with it. So I feel your frustration, but I also feel the rally coming, right? The rallying of spirit, the rallying of your, courage, your determination, getting proactive. I want to go right here. So we have a person running. Okay, running. Now we also have a little critter here, and we have some, it looks like even like little roadblocks. And then we have over here, it looks like a ship. Okay, you can see, here's the boat, and here, this one almost looks like a steamy one, and maybe a flag flapping in the wind. So I do feel that there has been and continues to be this really true desire to maybe move, maybe change like fundamental aspects of your life, quit the job that you've been, stressing about for the last 10 years and do something else. Now, I will say, please get a job before you quit your job. I know I don't need to comment on people's how they do things, but I'm always in mom mode. So, I stress about this stuff. And I am, I've been that person that has quit my job and thought, I'll just get another one, and then it was hard. And then I was like, oh shoot, what am I going to do? So you definitely have something lined up. But I do feel that there is obviously this, I mean, you're running, you're jumping over hurdles to get to that place where you can make this change. You've not only planned it, or conceptualized it, planned it, put it into motion, but you are running towards whatever this is. Maybe it's a divorce, maybe it's a separation, maybe you're telling somebody, yo, the world is ending, babe. We better get busy. Come on now. We got to get together. We got to start traveling. We need to hit the road, whatever it is. Start doing those things that you've always wanted to do. Start telling the people that you love, hey, I love you. I want to be near you. I want to spend time with you. I feel like we're at a place where we have to be aware and careful with other people's feelings and their states of being and all of this. Of course. But I also think it's just a time where it's like breaking down these walls of social mores and manners and don't be too, don't be too loving. Don't be too excited to have this friendship. Don't be, overly involved or forthcoming. I feel like these kinds of mental games that probably we all have played, of course, right? I feel like it's just, we've gotten to a point where things are, it's so post-modern on all levels of reality right now that it just feels like so much, like sludge. I don't know if you feel like this, but I know that at times I really do. It just is so much information, so many lukewarm feelings and big feelings and very low feeling. I mean, just the mess, the chaos of it all, which is beautiful, by the way, but it's also almost feels like we're in a period where everybody is constipated in some way, emotionally, spiritually, but we're all pushing forward, I think, or upward, or in all directions, right? I don't know. I feel like a lot of us are. But it just feels like nothing is happening. A lot of things are going on, and there is this shift, but it's I, myself anyways, feel like I haven't caught the current yet. But I will. I know I'm going to. I'm not worried about that. But it's a hard place to be in. To be aware and also to feel like you can't get to the place or the thing. So I feel like for you, it is all about being proactive, getting going, that kind of feeling. If you've ever been somebody that works out or does intentional movement, exercise stuff, there are a lot of days where you get up and you just don't want to do it, right? I mean, most days, right? Well, I don't know. For me, yes. At the same time, right? You're going to feel better once you get your body moving. It's all going to kind of get into place and not, I mean, some days you get partway through and you're like, all right, I'm done. This is not it. This is not it. But usually I would say once you get going, you get into the flow of things, right? You might even really start enjoying it and thank yourself. Thank you for forcing me to do this today because it's exactly what I needed, right? And you say that to yourself. But I feel like for you, you are like the person, say you're going to go run right after you wake up. You get up, you drink a glass of water, you go run. There's barely any in between. You are the person that pushes through. Even when you're super tired, even when you're half asleep, you are still getting up, putting those clothes, shoes on, going for that run. You're going to keep doing this. You're going to keep doing this. And this is why you're going to be so successful in this next cycle of time. Because I think for the first time in maybe your whole life, but at least in this like last couple of years, you have this alignment of motivation, you have a clear vision of what you want, and you have the resources to do so. Now, I'm not just talking about money. I mean the mental, the physical, the spiritual, emotional resources that you do need to do any kind of work, right? And to do it well, to do it with passion, desire, belovedness, okay? So I do feel you absolutely are getting those wheels turning. I feel you getting closer and closer. Now you have 2 more obstacles in the way, okay? I don't feel like they're going to be terribly difficult, but I do feel like they are things that you are going to have to really kind of lead yourself through. This makes me feel like this is almost kind of in the mental emotional zone, and I kind of pick up on the feeling that this is really about like the naysayers, especially in your family. Especially in your family. I feel this like they don't know what you're doing. They don't understand what's going on. And every time you see them, it's like they're dismissive of your choices. They act like what you're doing is foolish. Why would you throw away a good job to go do this? Like, what are you doing? You know, but the reality is you are courageous. You know what you're doing. You know, you have a vision, you have a plan. You're not somebody that just like carelessly does whatever. You've never been that way. You've probably not been allowed to be that way, really. Now, we have a train rolling in. We have the train, we have a person on top, we have that steam. We have the number 18. And we have, it looks like a connection with like your best friend. Right here, 2 right there. We also have N-O, no. Also a heart right there. So no. So I feel like somebody is showing up. Maybe from out of town, maybe from the past, whatever it is. I feel like somebody is reaching out to you and they just enter your life once again like a freaking train that is not going to stop for anything. I feel like there's a lot of chaotic energy here, but I feel like it's very welcome in a way. I feel like there's almost a sense of taking in some of that energy and applying it to the things that you're doing, but not succumbing to, this person. I almost feel like it's an older sister or like an older feminine friend that is very like, I don't want to, like, I love domineering women. I kind of am one, I guess, in some ways. But I do. I feel like it's kind of a domineering woman, which usually people are like, yo, that's like, oh, a woman that is bossy and pushy and, not always nice, not always smiling, What a terrible thing. My favorite kind of women. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I do feel like this is a person that they could show up at your house and start telling you how to fold your linens type of deal, right? Not having it, not interested in it. But you do love the independent energy because you also are very independent. But for you, it's so much more quiet. Go about your business, live your life, do what you want to do. And that's the biggest thing. You just don't want people to tell you what to do. I'm sorry, but that's a big Aries trait in my head. You don't want to be told. Now, if you come to the same conclusion and you want to do it, then that's fine. But if not, baby, good luck. Good luck getting some Aries to do what you tell them, right? Not going to happen. So, I do feel like that's where the conflict is with this person, but you love them. You enjoy them, and I think you know how to handle them. I don't think that this is going to be a long stay, so it does feel like maybe something's going on within the family that kind of has to bring them home. It doesn't feel like a pleasant return as far as like it's like a wedding or a baby shower or something like that. It feels more along the lines of like something's going on, maybe with like parents or a family member or something. And it feels like you're all having to kind of get together for some reason. Now, I don't feel like it's so sad that it's like somebody passed away. But I don't know what it is. It's something that's like not super, it's like very specific to your situation, obviously. Yeah, that makes sense. It does, what it feels like to me, to be honest, is something like an intervention. Maybe like a mental health thing. Maybe somebody is struggling in your family and you're coming together for them. I'm not sure. But I do feel like it is a serious thing. And this is going to help kind of lubricate this relation, this dynamic, without all of the like back and forth. Because I fully believe that this is a person that, like, if you're around them for more than, I don't know, like 3 hours, you're going to be arguing. Okay, so for whatever's going on, I feel like there is this kind of like self-control that comes along with it. And I do see you really trying to employ that. Now, I do also feel that there is this call to being with your friends or being with your best friend. I really think that you need some time to go out and do something fun. I feel like I'm looking at this, it reminds me of like two little dogs like playing with a ball and frolicking in the, in the grass and all that. So I do feel that there is definitely a lot of medicine in being with one of your soulmates. And I do believe this is one of your soulmates. So really, even if you don't see each other that often and, you get a text once a week or whatever, I feel like you should really look at this as an opportunity to kind of take the lead. Make the plans. I don't think you're the one that makes the plans that much. I'm just going to be honest. I feel like usually your friend is the one that kind of like draws you out of your kind of little hermit cave, right? Like you go to work, you do your thing, you go home and you just chill. You're just doing your hobbies, watching your shows, cooking, hanging out with the kids, whatever. But I do feel like this person is usually the one that like sets things up. Well, I think this time, maybe it's your turn. Maybe you should be the one that reaches out and kind of sets the thing up. And, do something that you haven't done. Find some kind of activity that's new to you. All right, so we also have, and I'm just going to point this out, we have a bull down here, and then we had the no. So I do feel like there's a Taurus person that maybe is trying to court you, or you've been together before, and I just feel like there's just a need to kind of reinforce boundaries there. And maybe they're trying to get you back or something, and you're just like, I am not interested. And you might just have to say it like straight up, because I don't think they're hearing you like you want them to. So we have the letters S and J. We have two birds kind of going for each other. This seems like an argument. There's an argument brewing. I do feel like this might be online. And I'm wondering if you've been on the internet arguing with people. If so, I say this with great love and great care. Stop it. Don't do that. Don't argue with people on the internet. Get out of the comment section. Not mine. You can go down there and leave a comment. But, I do appeal to you to be kind to everybody, But yeah, it does feel like maybe you're in a place like a lot of us where we log on to this site or that site or whatever. We start reading what people we know are writing. And we're just kind of like, really, dude? Do we not remember the mass firings of 2016 and 2020 and, all of that? The people getting caught out for the stuff they're saying on the internet. Listen, I'm not for censorship, but I am very much for common sense, right? Also, I'm pretty into not putting the poison out there, right? Although I did grow up in California in the 90s, and I am, I would say, almost top tier clowning. We used to call it clowning. It's when you kind of roast each other or whatever. So I'm no stranger to talking SH, right? But man, let's stop arguing on the internet, at least for a few days. Okay? All of us. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. They're just kind of spinning around. And I'm also pointing at myself because, listen, I absolutely want to argue with people. I want to argue with them like I want to have a piece of, baklava every day. I can't do it every day, though, right? Sometimes it's a treat. I get that. I need that treat sometimes too. But listen, no more arguing on the internet, at least for a few days. Okay? Now, we have a rabbit and we have the number 4. I feel like I don't know, is there a baby? Is there somebody having a 4th child? Which, listen, when I was younger, that would have been wild to know somebody who was having 4 kids. I don't know if it was just like where I grew up or I was just oblivious or what, but I did not know very many families that had, more than 2 or 3 kids. Now where I live in the Midwest, lots of families have, 4, 5, 6 kids, 7, 8. I mean, it's not uncommon. So that's not, to me, you might be like, oh, shocked, like, what? But that's actually like, people probably around here are more shocked that we only have 1 kid, and I'm not like one of those one and done, I'm like militant about it or anything. Listen, I'm just old. This lady's old. I'm old and I can handle one amazing kid, and I feel like I'll put everything I can into doing that, and hopefully it'll work out to some degree, right, as best as it can. And that's my only reason. I'm tired, man. I'm too old for that. Too old for it. I mean, some people are I mean in my soul. Okay, I know you might be saying, Lenore, you're not that old. I'm 40 years old. I feel old, but I'm not sad about it. I actually am so impressed with myself. I might outlive most of my family. I might be older than both of my parents soon. They passed away when I was 11 and 12. And so, I feel I'm patting myself on the back, carefully, right? But yeah, I don't know, 4 kids. It seems like there might be another kid coming, another grandkid possibly. That's the other thing. You meet people out here in the Midwest, upper Midwest, And they'll be like, oh yeah, I have like 46 grandkids. And you're like, wait, what? Okay, 84. Our first lucky number is, oh, where'd you go? 84. Okay, yeah, it's wild. I mean, I love it for them, 18. That's expensive though. How do you, I don't even know. You can't afford all that. 39. All right, and number 39. But family's a big deal out here, which I like. I like it. What are we going to do? I kind of want to do a little oracle. Do you guys want to do oracle? Let's do that. We're going to ask these beautiful Radiant Sun oracle cards. What is the next week going to be like for Aries? Like, what is going to be coming up? What's going to be coming up? Because I just have this feeling there's a little something. Okay, let's see. I'm going to stop where it feels right, and we're going to just start here. Patience. Okay. I almost feel like there's like a boredom happening. Like a little bit of a lull. Ooh, lust. Patience, fortune, lust. Okay, so I feel like maybe, you've been waiting around. You've been, not waiting. I shouldn't say that. You have not been focused on whatever it is that you are now lusting for. I'm guessing money, position, fortune, all that stuff. And you've been patient. But I feel like there is a building lust. Like as your energies are kind of going more into that fiery place with the air kind of like hanging out there. Things are moving quickly. And I do feel like it's like a invigorating kind of feeling. Like you just got some pep in your step. Okay, let's see. Rebellion. Generosity. And criticism. Okay. I'm going to do a couple. Companionship. Choice. Drama. Okay. So to me, it almost kind of feels like you have this energy of, let's be real. Like, I feel like you have this energy of maybe you are somebody who is like socially active, like you're involved in some kind of movement or like a nonprofit, or you're like educating people about something you really care about. You might be somebody who, is like, not just like you're at home talking about it in the, in the Discord chat or whatever, but you are literally like involved in your community, right? You're like proactive with this stuff. So I do feel like for you, there's almost this sense of like, by giving to your community, by giving of your time, giving of your resources, giving of your kindness, your belovedness, this generosity that you have is rebellious. It is rebellious. It is rebellious because you're not afraid to go where your convictions take you. You're not afraid to live in your grace. You're not afraid to live in your belief. You're not afraid to, live in your truth. Okay, and how you see the world right now, how you see people right now. You are aligned with all of that. And you are, you're standing on business. Let's be real. Whatever that is. Now, I'm not implying it goes any which way. And it might be shifting constantly. But I do see you as somebody who really is about their business. Right? So I do feel like there has been criticism from people in your life. And, I think we all kind of understand this feeling. And this might be kind of like while you're arguing on the internet. people in my own family, arguing on the internet. Why? I don't know. Are you kidding me? Like, stop. You know? I just shake my head. I love everybody. Just chill out. I do feel like through your work, you're finding companionship. You are making choices for yourself, and you are avoiding drama at all costs. And you know what? What I have discovered, and I don't know if it's just, do I have an off-putting vibe, or do people just, I don't know, accept what I say because I just kind of live how I live? I don't know. But you get to a point where you just kind of decide that you're going to be who you are. You're going to dress the way you do. You're going to talk the way you do. You're going to talk about the things that you do. You know, and you might have to apologize here and there. I know I do. I'm not always like on point with things. I'm neurodivergent. I miss a lot of stuff in communications, or, you know, body language stuff, or just, I might think I understand where they're coming from, or why they, you know, whatever. And I get stuck on like, oh, I already figured it out. And here it is. I'm wrong. But where was I going with this? I don't even know. What was I talking about? I got lost shoveling these cards or putting them back in. Anyways, I don't know. Remind me in the comments. This happens constantly. Don't worry. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yes, this is it. Yeah, people don't really like go after me too much about my, like, you know, how I feel about things or what. I don't talk about politics with people and all that, really. I used to, not anymore. But, you know, I don't really have a lot of, like, people coming at me, usually. Like, especially in real life. You know, and I do live in a place that you would think people would be very intolerant of, you know, the way that I dress, the way that my family looks, the work we do. It's been the opposite, honestly. And so, I think a lot of it is like this confidence of doing something like you are supposed to. Like, no, this is just, you know, I'm just living life. I'm doing this because this is what I do. It's amazing how that kind of confidence will just, like, people just kind of go with it. Also, when you stop telling people how to think, feel, or whatever, they're way more, like, open to listening to us. Right? Or even just watching how you exist. I mean, I know for me, if somebody tells me what I should believe, or even if I do absolutely think, yeah, you're right, I do not appreciate at all somebody forcing their will upon me. At all. I don't like it. I like to watch people, and I like to see what they do. I like to see the things they're into. I like to talk to people about their passions and their this and that. And then I can decide if, hey, I want to try that. Or maybe I'll do, that's what I should do. You know, that kind of thing. And I'm not saying that it's perfect, and maybe I just don't perceive that there are people, you know, hating on me or whatever. But I feel like we have to find this amount of detachment where we don't put all of our feelings into one basket, and then, you know, you like hang the basket on like a comment in a news section on a website that you know everybody's going to argue. And not only that, it's public where you've commented. Your family can see it. Your work people can see it. You know what I mean? Like, we got to have some amount of detachment. I don't know. I got into the practice of I'll type the whole paragraph, and then if I'm really in control, I'll just delete it. If not, I'll copy and paste it over to a note. I know I'm an Apple person. Sorry. And if it's like in 3 days, right? I'll save the thread. If in 2-3 days I still feel like, yeah, that's something I really need to say, I'm still, I still have a strong opinion about that, then I'll do it. Almost never has that happened. Usually I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, I'll open my notes. I'm like, well, okay. And then I remember, oh, that was, whatever. So I just feel like there's just a need. I'm not saying silence yourself. I'm not saying that at all. I think there's just like at least a pause so you can think about, like, do I need to put this energy into my interactions with people I care about? Do I need to put this energy into the collective? Do I need to say these things? Is this going to be helpful? Not only for me, but other people to witness. I think that these are things that we do need to ask ourselves. Absolutely. At the same time, I'm just a chaotic little gremlin. And I'm like, babe, just make a shell account, then go say all the stuff. Right? No, don't do that. Anyways, I know. I'm like, I think that's it. Yeah, we've hit 40 minutes, so probably that's it. Anyways, I gotta go check on my husband and make sure he's okay and stuff. He's sleeping, the poor guy. He's just very sick. I got a fever and sweat in here. I don't feel the best, but definitely not as bad as he is. So anyhow, I love you. Take care of yourself. Aries. Like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Do all three if you are my super duper bestest friend in the whole world. I love you. I love you. I love you. Good night.